Your fluency today is coming up on the screen. You've got 30 seconds as usual, so have your pen and paper ready. If you don't want to do it timed, then just pause it and the answers will come up afterwards. If you are timing yourself, then your timer starts now. Now I'm going to go through yesterday's challenge. So you had this complex shape and you had to find out the area of each colour. So to start off with, we had the orange space, which was each box was 24 centimetres squared, and there's two of them. So in total, the orange is 48 centimetres squared. Then the blue area is half the size of the orange area. So they were each worth 12 centimetres, and there were 6 of them. So 12 times 6 gives us 72 centimetres squared. The green was worth a quarter of the orange square or half of the blue, so each one was 6 centimetres squared. There was 4 of them, so we times it by 4. So one of the green section was 24 centimetres squared, which is the same as one section of orange. Then it said to find out the total area, so we just had to add all of those together, and you should have got 144 centimetres squared. Well done if you did. Today we are continuing to look at area, and we're going to start to look at the area of some compound shapes. But to start off with, we'll just go and refresh our memories of how to find the area and perimeter of some simple shapes. So we've got 3 rectangles that I've got on the board, 3.2 metres by 10 metres, find the area and the perimeter. 8 centimetres by 6 centimetres, area and perimeter. Again, make note of the unit of measure. And then the last one, 7.5 metres and 5 metres. So find the area and the perimeter. So think about the type of shape that it is, fill in the missing information. Think about what's the difference between finding area and perimeter, and also take note of the unit of measure, and then we'll go through them. Let's start off with our rectangle with whole numbers. So this one here, 8 centimetres by 6 centimetres. To find the area, remember, we've got to do the length times by the width, and we find to figure out how many centimetres squared would fill the inside of this shape. So 8 times by 6 gives us 48. So the area of this rectangle is 48 centimetres squared, and that's that little 2 that's floating. Now for our perimeter. Now for this one, I'm going to fill in the missing information. So because it's a rectangle, I know that the opposite sides are equal. So if this is 6 centimetres, then this is 6 centimetres. And if this is 8 centimetres, then this is 8 centimetres. You can fill this information in if you've drawn them at home as well. So now all we need to do is add all of these numbers around the outside together. So 6 add 8 add 6 add 8. And the answer that you should have got is 28 centimetres. Okay. Let's go to this one over here now. So we've got 3.2 metres and 10 metres. So again, to find the area, we do the length times by the width. Now we should be practiced at timesing things by 10. So we've got 10 times by 3.2, it's a decimal. To times by 10, we move one place to the left. So you could use place value grid to help you. You could draw one out. So 3.2 multiplied by 10 gives us 32. And then this time we've got metres, and because it's area, it's metres squared. So we've just figured out how many square metres would fill, that's not drawn very well because we have 3.2 boxes, fill the inside of this shape. Okay, it'd be 32 metres squared. Then for the perimeter, I'm going to do the same as before. I'm going to fill in the missing information. So again, I know it's a rectangle, so the opposite sides are equal. So that's 10 metres, and this is 3.2 metres. And then it's just a case of adding them all together. So 10 on 10 gives us 20, 3.2 and 3.2 gives us 6.4, and then add them all together gives us 26.4 metres. Okay? And then the last one. So So this one we've got 7.5 metres by 5 metres. Okay, so 7.5 and 5. So again, to find the area, we times the length by the width. So to do this, I did 7 holes times by 5 holes, gives us 35. And then I made this 10 times bigger. So I did, rather than 0.5, I did 5 times by 5, which is 25. And then made it 10 times smaller, so then added them together. I just think that's an easier way to do those calculations. So the area of this one is 37.5 metres, and then remember it's squared when we're looking at area. Same again for perimeter, so we're going to fill in the missing information. That side's 5, so this side's 5 metres, that side's 7.5, so this side is 7.5 metres. We know that because it's a rectangle. Next up, we're going to add them all together. So again, to do this, I would use your number 1, so 5 and 5 is 10, 7.5 and 7.5, or 7 doubled is 14, and then 2 halves make a whole, so that's 15, add 10 is 25 metres. Okay, well done if you got those. Now I'm going to take this a step further. I've got 2 shapes on the board for you. At the moment they are separate. So I've got a square, one side is 6 centimetres, and a rectangle. One side is 5 centimetres and the other side is 2 centimetres. If you've got a ruler at home, you can draw these out to scale and measure them. Mine aren't to scale, okay? What I want you to do is find the area and the perimeter of the 2 separate shapes, and then I'll tell you the next step. Now I'm going to take this a step further. I've got 2 shapes on the board for you. At the moment they are separate. So I've got a square, one side is 6 centimetres, and a rectangle. One side is 5 centimetres and the other side is 2 centimetres. If you've got a ruler at home, you can draw these out to scale and measure them. Mine aren't to scale, okay? What I want you to do is find the area and the perimeter of the 2 separate shapes, and then I'll tell you the next step. Now I've put those same 2 shapes and I've combined them to make a new shape. And when we do this and we put 2 simple shapes together, or more than one shape together, it's called a compound shape. So now I want you to think about, they're exactly the same dimensions, I've just joined them together. So I've got my square that's got all the sides 6 centimetres, and my rectangle, one side 5 centimetres and one side 2 centimetres. How can we work out the area and the perimeter of my new compound shape? So think about, can you use some of that information that we've just worked out to figure out the area and perimeter? Does it work for both of them? We'll start off with the area again. So we worked out the area of this square, the inside of this square, and that hasn't changed because there is nothing being added or taken away to the inside of this square. So this one was 36 centimetres squared. Now the same for my rectangle. Nothing has been added or taken away from this area, the inside of that shape. Now the area of that shape was 10 centimetres squared. So to find out the area of my compound shape, I just need to add this to this and add these 2 numbers together. So 36 at 10 centimetres gives us 46 centimetres squared. And that's the area of my new compound shape. However, do we think that works for perimeter? I'm hoping that you're saying no. The reason this is because this line here is now on the inside of that shape. And remember, the definition of perimeter is the distance around the outside of a shape, and that works for simple and compound shapes. So to help us, we need to label all of our outside edges. So I've done this one, this one, this one, and these. Now I need to figure out what's missing. So this side of my rectangle is the same as this side, so it's 5 centimetres. But this side, we need to do a bit of problem solving. It's not the full 6 centimetres because that would be to be here. So what's left? Well, 2 centimetres of it has been taken away because of this added rectangle. So let's do 6, take away 2, and this length now is 4 centimetres. So now to find the perimeter of my new compound shape, we need to add together all of these distances around the outside of my shape. I would recommend crossing them off as you add them to help you, and there's some number bonds in there as well to help you with that calculation. The perimeter of our compound shape is 33 centimetres. Well done if you got that. Here's the next one for you to have a go at. Two more simple shapes to start off with. So I've got a square, side 3 centimetres, I want the area and the perimeter, and then this rectangle, 8 centimetres by 2 centimetres, area and perimeter. Again, mine aren't to scale, but you feel free to draw them to scale to help you and label that missing information. Let's start off with the area. So the area of this square, obviously each side is going to be 3 centimetres. So we're going to do 3 centimetres times 3 centimetres, which gives us 9 centimetres, and that's a squared number. 3 squared is 9. Perimeter of our square, let's fill in missing sides, so all sides are 3 centimetres. We can either do 3, add 3, add 3, add 3, or 3 times by 4. The perimeter of this square is 14 centimetres. Okay, next one, area of this rectangle, so 8 centimetres times by 2 centimetres is 16 centimetres squared. Okay, and then the perimeter, let's fill in the missing information again. So it's a rectangle, opposite sides are equal, so 8 centimetres and 2 centimetres. Now we're going to add them together, all of the around the outside. There's 2 number bonds there, 8 and 10, 8 and 10, so that perimeter is 20 centimetres. Now let's see what happens when we create a compound shape. So here are those 2 shapes put together to create the compound shape. So now I want to think about how can you use this information to find out the area and perimeter of our new shape. Can we just add both areas together and both perimeters together? Hopefully remember from the last one that we can add together the area of this shape and the area of this shape, because the area, the inside of those shapes, hasn't changed. We're just adding this area to this area. So we're doing 9, add to our 16, which gives us 25 centimetres squared for the new area of our compound shape. Now let's have a look at the Now let's have a look at the perimeter. Now it's the perimeter that we can't add together because these lines now are the inside of our shape, okay? And the perimeter is the distance around the outside. So I always think it's useful to label and annotate those missing sides for the perimeter. So our squares, 3 centimetres and 3 centimetres. This side of our rectangle is 8 centimetres. And then this shape is where we've got to find out the missing length from here to here. So it's not 3 centimetres because we've got 2 centimetres missing. So the missing part must be 1 centimetre. Remember, this isn't accurate. Now we've got to add together all of those distances around the outside of our new compound shape. And the perimeter that you should have got is 28 centimetres. That's it for today. Your task is over on Purple Mash and it's a quiz. It's just going over those skills that I've done on the video. So if you struggle, then perhaps watch the video again. And please don't hesitate to let me know if you're struggling via the email address or by the class blog. There's also a challenge coming up, which I'll put on the end of the video now. Just be careful of that unit of measure, that's what it's looking for. Good luck and I'll see you tomorrow.